All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. Finally, Frank Lampard has come back to Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the other side of the coin. Frank Lampard returns to Chelsea Football Club. And look, obviously I had to say what I had to say yesterday. And whatever is happening and whatnot, I think every one of us has the right to express their feeling and say what they, feel deep inside. And I think I did that last night. Of course, this is not how I wanted to sort of pan out. I would have liked us to get the proper manager in, and I would have liked us to salvage whatever we have till the end of the season. I still had hope. Now, you can call me delusional. You can call me naive. But, I sort of felt that maybe we still have some chance to make Europe to a certain level, not Champions League, maybe make Europa, maybe make Conference League. We need it for the finances more than anything. Jitesh is saying, have I seen the press conference? Of course I have. I have. Very good press conference, very well spoken. I'm going to talk about all of that. Over 100 of you guys are live right now. Smash the like button. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have those likes up. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Look, I guess I was a little bit annoyed about the situation yesterday when I first, saw the news really materialize. I didn't think this was actually going to be possible. I was under the impression that we're going to end up getting a manager, a full-time manager, eventually enough. I didn't expect the manager to be ready by Wolves. I would have liked the manager to have been ready for Real Madrid, but I could have waited a little bit longer. It's fine. But I wanted a full-time manager so that they can come in, assess the team, and hit the ground running in the preseason. But having relaxed for a little bit, having allowed the news to marinate, I think this is what we fail to do at times as fans. We need to let the news sink in. We need to assess what is actually happening. Look, I'll be absolutely and brutally honest. The owners so far and the board, they've made a lot of mistakes from a managerial standpoint. Personally, didn't want Thomas Tuchel to be sacked, but he's sacked. I think we can understand why and why not, and we can argue all day long. The fact of the matter is, the owners didn't want Thomas Tuchel. Then Graham Potter came in. He's a nice guy. I liked him at Brighton. I admired what he did at Brighton, but I never advocated that he should be Chelsea manager, but he became Chelsea manager. Once again, didn't really like the decision by the owners. And then he was the manager, and we saw what transpired. And I don't think it's that surprising the way it kind of turned out to be. And the fact that the owners waited so long to get rid of Graham Potter, that was a bit annoying. I think it was clear as daylight that they should have thought about a new manager a while ago. So now we're in a situation where they've sacked him, and there seems to be some sort of, I suppose, disagreement internally, whether it should be Nagelsmann, whether it should be Enrique. And I guess they want to take their time, and then consequently, Bruno Saltor, who I referred to him as Bruno Fernandes, probably, is not up to the mark and maybe does not want to stay in as an interim for the time being. And maybe the players feel a bit disconnected. Maybe the club hierarchies feel a bit disconnected with the, residual value that's been left behind from Graham Potter's backroom stuff. So, of course, the whole Graham Potter appointment blew up at the owner's face. So I understand. I get it. What do you do now? You got to eventually make a right decision. And maybe this is the right decision for the time being. It is for an interim purpose. We'll see. Look, initially I was a bit annoyed, but now Frank Lampard is here. He's official. He's here. And all we can ever do is back him and hope that he turns it around. I hope he proves me wrong. Look, I'll be honest. I still personally feel Frank has so much to learn. He does. If he wants to pursue managerial career, and this is what we need to understand as a fan. Frank Lampard as a player was phenomenal, one of the greatest of all time. The level of midfielder he was, the footballing IQ he had, we don't see too many midfielders like that in modern football at the moment. Scores goals, assists, defensively good as well, off the ball work rate. Like him as a player, like we need to separate him as a player and the love that we have as a player on a separate way as opposed to him as a manager. We need to be honest about that. Far too many times we allow ourselves to be clouded. And I get it. Sentimental values, emotional factors. I understand all of that. I get that. But when the dust settles and you sit down and you process it, I think it's not outrageous. It's not too outlandish to say that Frank Lampard needs to develop a lot as a manager, a lot. I would have loved to have seen Frank Lampard be an assistant manager of an elite coach and learn his trade along the way, then become a full-time manager, seriously become a full-time manager. But we're here, and it seems like at the moment it is a lot about vibes. Look, that press conference was fantastic. One thing about Frank Lampard is he's so well-spoken. He's always been so well-spoken. Flies, you're absolutely right. Like Arteta. Would have loved Frank Lampard to learn his trade under an elite manager and then take his time, learn for 2-3 seasons, really understand all the different facets of management, then take that to a particular club. But fantastic press conference. He's always been well-spoken. I think from his standpoint, his mind is absolutely clear what needs to be done. And I hope we get a bit of a bounce, as they say. Not trying to be cheeky or anything like that, but yeah, I hope there is. Look, as I said, my disappointments were around the fact that I actually thought we could still do something for the rest of the season. I really did. Bringing a manager, a serious manager, I thought we could do something. We could perhaps put up a fight against Real Madrid and maybe go past them. And then see what happens. Maybe we can conjure up some victories in the Premier League and give us a chance to be at least in Europa League. We need some level of European football next season, not just financially, but for our players as well. It's a big squad. I know a lot of the players will leave. I understand that. But it will still be a big squad nonetheless, and minutes are going to be paramount to keep some players happy. And I think as a football club, whether we get a new manager or not, we'll see. You never know. It may very well be Frank Lampard with full-time job. Like if he impresses, if he does well in the next 9 Premier League matches and the Champions League tie against Real Madrid, if he does well, I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past the owners and the board to maybe even make him full-time. Who knows? But the bottom line is, whoever is the manager, it would be prudent to have some level of European football. Valen, thank you so much for the super chat. Chelsea appointing a head coach at the end of the season increases the possibility of Nagelsmann by a mile. Plus, PSG wants him, may force us to act. I think you're right, Valen. I think you're right. I think if it was Enrique was ready now. So it looks like maybe the club is moving towards Nagelsmann. Our board, in terms of Vivell, in terms of Lawrence Stewart, they may fancy Nagelsmann, and maybe Nagelsmann is not ready to take up the position as yet, and rightly so. He might not be in the right frame of mind. Maybe he needs some time to assess what has happened to him at Bayern Munich. And maybe you're right, Valen. Maybe that's the case why we are going with the interim for the time being. We can't really be hanging around with Bruno Fernandes for the time being. So I understand, I suppose, to a certain degree, why Frank Lampard has come in now. All right, thank you so much for the super chat. Owners have no plan, didn't sack Graham Potter during international break, sacked without succession plan, appoint Lampard when there is still all to play for FFS, for F's sake. Look, that's how I felt, Arash. That's exactly, you've summed it up. That's exactly how I felt. And that's why I was a bit annoyed. And one thing I will say, and this was the case first time around as well, when Frank Lampard was our manager, things become very, very toxic because all of a sudden logic kind of goes out of the window. All of a sudden, you can't talk constructively anymore. You can't talk, if you see anything if you see something that's not sitting well. Fans, like from yesterday onwards, like you can't mention anything. Even on my live chat late yesterday, a lot of people were insulting me. A lot of people were abusing me. Even on Twitter, a lot of people insulting, abusing. Logic seems to go away when it's Frank Lampard. Like, even if you present a case constructively and in a respectful manner, man, people really take you to the cleaners. Like that. This is a huge thing that I get worried about when club legends or someone who we adore so much returns back to the football club. Many tend to forget being logical anymore. Logic gets thrown out of the window. And I hate feeling like that, because then you always have to tread careful what you say. You can't be you. You can't be you. Do you know what I mean? Himanshu, thank you so much for the super chat. Means, how have we gone backwards from Potter? We literally have the worst coach in the Premier League. Get ready to see those horrendous defensive setups. Look, I hope. Look, this is what I'm hoping from Frank Lampard. I'm not really tactically hoping anything. I'm not really expecting much anymore till the end of the season. Whatever expectation I did have, I'm not really expecting anymore. I'm just hoping that, as Frank said in the press conference, get some level of impact. Get these set of players to believe again. And we'll see. Like, I honestly don't have any sort of huge expectations moving into, and I won't even, like, when I do my previews, I won't even try and do my own lineups or anything like that, because I don't know. I don't know what the lineup might be. So I'm hoping that the players get some level of buzz, the players get some level of belief, some level of motivation by seeing a superstar, a legend of the football club that I'm pretty sure all of these players would have seen as youngsters. And I hope that can drive to some positive results. I'm hoping. Whereas previously, I was seriously hoping that if we get the right manager in, we can still maybe salvage whatever is remaining. But I don't want to. I don't want to have that level of expectation right now. Do you know what I mean? I think we need to understand that, you know, Frank Lampard, in terms of managerial experience, you know, you can't be having that level of expectations on him. You know, I expect you to go out and beat Real Madrid. I expect you to, you know, for the remaining games that's left in the Premier League, I expect you to, you know, beat most of them. I can't, because Frank is still new to managerial situation. But I hope that he can at least give some level of confidence and that motivation. Hopefully the players can see that. Scotty H, no, it's just your negativity when this was only the best and best option. I'm sorry, Scotty, for being negative. It is my channel, and I think I have the right to react. And I think you guys as audience and viewers and people that are connect, like there's so many in this live chat that I see and talk and interact with every single day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys have become mates. You guys have become friends. And even yesterday, when I was going through my reaction and I was giving you guys how I truly felt inside, I could see there's a lot of you guys that I talk on a regular basis. You know, we were butting heads. Obviously, it didn't feel good, but at the same time, I'm going to give you how I feel. I think it would be very, you know, very, I suppose, fake of me if I came here and try to put up a particular face. That's just not real. So I think this is why most of you guys come into this particular channel knowing that you may disagree with me, but at least you're going to get someone who's honest about his feelings. But of course, now we've had the time to sit down and understand the situation. And yeah, I get it. I understand it. We're in a predicament. Where I guess we could not come to a decision as to who the future manager is going to be. We could not come to a decision as to who the future manager is going to be, and the club wants to take their time to ensure that they don't make another mistake. Fair enough. Maybe this is the start of the owners, the board, slowly starting to make more right decisions than wrong decisions. And while we wait for the right decision, maybe this is the way to go about it, knowing as it's been well documented that Bruno Saltor still part of the old regime, and it was just not feasible to have them around. And I was getting upset about that as well, that the club did not actually have a proper plan when they sacked Graham Potter. It's like they didn't have a contingency plan at all. Even Frank Lampard said in the press conference, he literally just got called 24 to 48 hours ago. So, you know, I want the club to be a little bit more smarter about these sort of things. Do you know what I mean? The negativity around this just sums up people are consumers of the club rather than fans. Seeing Frank come back for 10 games is great. I'm going to get behind any legend, to be honest. Love my club. Look, see, this is the thing, and each to their own. I mean, if that's how you feel, Balak CFC, fine with you. Like, I don't like it when fans start commenting on other fans. Like, just focus on yourself. Like, I don't like this whole nature of some people are just consumers. Why are we having this elitist views? Like I am better, you're better, they're worse. Like, who gives us the right to judge someone else? Why are we like that? Like, so many people yesterday when I was tweeting, commenting on me, like, oh, this is a very, very, agenda driven response from you, Miz. It's a very strange response. Like, people can have different perspectives. We as a fan base, we've forgotten how to just understand different perspectives. We're just so quick to down people, demean people, insult people. Why? What do we have to go out there and say, oh, some people are just consumers of the club rather than fans? See, there are genuine concerns. I think we need to understand. This is why I keep saying, some fans see Frank Lampard, legend of the club, legendary player, but as a player, it's okay. It's okay to distinguish between the two. Just because you do that, that doesn't make you consumers of the club. I have the best interest of the club. I wanted the club to assign a proper manager so that they can assess the situation now and get their ground running in the preseason. Now, God knows when exactly the new manager will come in, and they have a big, task ahead of them in the summer, which is, I don't want it to impact the preseason. The preseason is very important. Now, you tell me, from anything that I've said, did it feel like, I'm agenda-based? Like, my love for Frank Lampard is in one place. But then my focus for the club that I love is in another place as well. Then does that make me a consumer? This is why I hate. I've never gone out of my way insulting another fan. Or why do you why do you think this way? Everyone's got different perspective, and that's fine. We are too ready to insult and demean people right away. Why? When are we going to get to a situation where let's just try and we don't have to agree. I'm not saying agree with everything. No, I'm not saying let's agree with everyone. But when are we going to get to a stage where we can at least understand people? It makes you a better person. It grows you as a human being. Shubra is saying that was not negativity, that was some other perspective. Even I didn't agree with Miz yesterday, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. Nothing serious. Exactly. And you, Shubra, you disagreed with me yesterday. And that's fine. But I think if I came here and was disingenuous about the whole situation, I think that would have been more pathetic, I suppose. Alhambra, thank you so much for the super chat. This is a reflection of circus at CFC. If you give monkeys a typewriter, maybe they type Shakespeare, but likely it'll be gibberish. It could be Lampard, Drogba, or Terry. I think the same. F my life. No, you're right, man. You're right. Joshua, let's see what you guys are saying. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got over 270 people live right now. Let's get those likes up to 100. And if we're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's get the subscriptions up. Let's try and go towards 22,000. That'd be fantastic. Is it 22 or 22? Let's do that. And it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting. The upcoming matches. I think the watch-alongs are going to be fantastic. I'm keen to see how Frank Lampard sets us up. I'm keen to see what sort of lineups he uses, who he uses. The press conference was very interesting. Of course, like every other time, Frank is very well spoken. How he manages this large group of players, very important till the end of the season. Can we get some sort of life back into Chelsea? Can we get some form of, wins, I suppose, till the end of the season? Let's see what happens. It'll be interesting when we announce the new manager. If we do announce the new manager, the proper manager, obviously Frank has come in as a caretaker manager. We'll see. Ms. for Lampard to be so-called experienced and supportive in many fans to be properly beaten 7-1 on aggregate by Bayern in the first, I'm bashing, but people have this image of him as a player, not else. Many have this perception of Frank Lampard as a player, and I think they do cloud that with his management. And look, I get that. It's Frank Lampard. I get that. But I think people that have that perception don't tend to understand the people that don't get that. Like, they don't seem to understand that we get it. He's not an elite level manager that needs to be at Chelsea Football Club. And that's what annoys me. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Ms. Barca fan here, you guys are missing opportunity of a lifetime in Enrique. He's an all-round package, and trust me, you guys will love him even more than Tuchel if given time and if he arrives. Do you know what? I don't think he's going to get the job anymore, because if he got the job, he would have had the job by now. He's ready to go. I think the owners probably wanted him, but the board don't want him. That's the feeling I'm getting. I think Vivell, Lawrence Stewart, Paul Winstanley, all of these guys, I think they want Nagelsmann. And I think the owners wanted Enrique. But the fact that we've just brought in Frank now, when Enrique is ready, gives me the feeling I don't think it'll be Enrique. I think it'll be Nagelsmann. And maybe we're just waiting for Nagelsmann. I think Nagelsmann might have said, look, I want to take the job in summer, come in fresh, gives me a bit of time to reassess and relax for a little bit, rest for a little bit. It was a brutal and ruthless sacking from Bayern. I just get the feeling maybe that's where it's going. Ms. People have to respect you for standing by what you say and having the courage of your convictions. As long as you stand by what you say, that is, Now, look, I'm not going to come here and be fake. I'm not going to come here and try and please people. I think it's important to be real. But yeah, Balak CFC, no, Miss, I didn't mean it like that. I apologize. Don't stop your views. To be honest, it was permanent. I would have shared your sentiment. I just think for 10 games, seeing a legend at least is something nice. No, yeah, look, when you do stop and think about it, the predicament that we're in, it makes sense. The predicament that we're in, whether we like it or not. I would have liked it if we'd got a full-time manager, but I understand there's disagreements within Chelsea. And this is why we want to make sure we take our time, we assess the whole situation, make the right decision. Fair enough. I get it. But yeah, when you stop and you think about the situation and the predicament that we're in, maybe this is the right thing to do. Maybe it's wise to bring in someone like Frank Lampard and see if we can get some level of bounce, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Miz, don't listen to anyone. Just hope these 52 days pass by soon and we get a proper manager in and look forward to a new season. The season was done long ago, not with decision to hire Lamps. Now, look, I still hope we can do some sort of damage. I still hope that we can do... we can provide some level of surprise. I hope we're competitive against Real Madrid. I hope we're competitive for the rest of the season against Premier League teams in the Premier League. But yeah, look, some form of my expectations are probably, I'm not going to put those sort of expectations. I'm just here, and there will be a lot of vibes. And whatever happens, if it's a positive thing, I'll be elated and I'll be excited and I'll keep backing for whatever remaining games that's left for Frank Lampard. I'll be backing them. I think sitting here and having huge expectations on Frank now, I think that's not fair, because as I said, I don't think he's an elite level manager to put that level of expectation. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping that it's all positive. I'm hoping it's all positive. But at the same time, if results turn out to be negative, I don't think we can really sit here and say, "Oh, I told you so." It is what it is. It is what it is for the time being. And as I said, all we can hope is that it turns out good. We'll see where things go after that. I would like to see some of the legends in the club, just not manager. Lamps, JT, Drogba. I think Ashley Cole's coming back as well. JT, we'll see whether that can happen. These men would be good for the players and keep fans on board. It is a good tactical move from the board. I guess they know that it's been very difficult for the fans, whether it's match going fans, whether it's fans across the world. It's been very difficult. And with Graham Potter, and I think it's a bit of a genius stroke, I suppose, from the board that look, let's get someone like Frank in, who's legend of the football club, regardless of how the situation ends up being for the remaining parts of the season. They know that at least with Frank, people are always going to be backing him and cheering him on, and there'll be that good feeling factor for match-going fans, and also, I suppose, non-match-going fans across the world. And it's a genius move, until they kind of, gets the right manager in. For the time being, they take all the attention away from themselves, and they know that the fans at least will be happy somewhat from having someone like Frank Lampard. So there's a bit of a PR stunt, that's for sure. It's a bit of a PR stunt. We just need to get an agreement with a manager soon, whether that is Nagelsmann or Enrique, just to end any uncertainty for next season. The quicker situation gets resolved, the better it is for everyone. Of course, agreed. Omo is saying, Miz, I think we're going to get Nagelsmann mostly because of Vivel. Otherwise, we didn't get Enrique. I just hope they get Nagelsmann and not lose him to another job in summer. I think we will get Nagelsmann. I really do think we're going to get Nagelsmann. Ms. Marca claims that Barca is seriously considering replacing Xavi with Nagelsmann. No, Xavi's staying. I know they got battered by Real Madrid, but Xavi's staying. Xavi's about to win the La Liga. They've not won the La Liga for a little while. Xavi's a good manager, man. Xavi's actually a good manager. Don't let just one result fool you. I know Europe he hasn't done well, but he's still in his early stages of his managerial career. For him to go out there and win the La Liga with all the financial stress that they have, it's a good feat. It's a good feat for him. What if Enrique joins PSG, Liverpool, or Juventus? Is that it for us? Nope. I don't think we're going to get Enrique. That's just my personal feeling. So it's up to you if you think we're going to get him or not. Yeah, there's rumors with Antonio Conte, man. That's mad. That really is mad. I don't know what, I don't want to entertain it too much. I appreciate what Antonio Conte did for us. Obviously won that league. Amazing, comeback in that particular league for the first 3 games. I still remember the Arsenal Alonso, that picture showing the 3 at the back and how it all turned out from there. The season before that with Jose Mourinho. And obviously the season when Antonio Conte left, we still won the FA Cup. But it finished off poor. It finished off, as a massive disaster. I don't want to entertain that again. Do you know what I mean? I think Antonio Conte should focus on going back to Italy and find a job there. Miguel Delaney needs to be banned from reporting on us. He linked us with Conte and Tite. Shambolic journalism. Yeah, this is what I don't want to. I feel like there's no way that's going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen. These owners will open their eyes after getting L after L with clueless Frank. Don't delude ourselves. We are doing anything with him in charge. Look, for the time being, it's interim. So, and I'm hoping it. Look, from the fans' perspective, I hope Frank can at least get some level of, confidence installed in the team. The team is lacking a lot in confidence. I still don't want to give up on the Champions League tie against Real Madrid. I really don't. I would love to see us salvage this season to a certain degree. Try your level best to go past Real. It ain't going to be easy. I know that Real Madrid are smoking at the moment. But I hope Frank and his presence, especially Frank's presence, gives the players that boost. Sometimes in this level at the moment now, I don't know how much tactic comes into play. But at least get the passion and desire back. Do you know what I mean? At least fight for the football club till the end. And maybe that fight can carry us through. Because I'm seriously worried about these owners. Why are we linked to Nuno, Conte, and Jose? I don't know, man. It's mad. All of these links that's coming up now. I don't know how much any of it's true. I think bottom line is it's Nagelsmann or Enrique. All of these other ones, like all of these journalists, are just taking the mick now. Honestly, it's easy to just connect anyone with Chelsea Football Club right now because obviously we're looking for a manager. So we need to be careful who are serious, who are not. I think people like Fabrizio Romano have been talking specifically about Enrique and Nagelsmann. Matt Law as well, same thing. So I think anything else we just need to sort of brush aside. So yeah, Mount will be back in the squad. It'll be interesting because Mount hasn't featured off the bench for the last couple of games, and you wonder whose decision was that. I don't think this was Bruno Saltor's decision. I don't think he can make that much of a bold decision last game to not play Mason Mount off the bench at least. So I don't know if these decisions are actually coming from the manager or is it actually coming from the board and the owners. So it'll be interesting to see what Frank does and how he looks at this situation. He needs to understand Mount's contractual position at the moment and club's position on the matter. So it'll be interesting if Mason Mount comes back immediately, whether in the starting lineup or from the bench. It'll be very, very interesting to see that. I think the Conte and Jose links are BS, just journalists trying to get clicks. I think that's probably right. I want to go out of the UCL, better Lampard than a new manager. If I want to go out of the UCL, better Lampard than a new manager, it's as if employing the board is a false image. Why would we have to wait longer when Enrique is straight up twerking for us? It's because I think the board's not convinced. I think the board wants Nagelsmann and I think the owners want Enrique. And this is the predicament that we find ourselves in where they can't agree, but at the same time, they can't keep Bruno Saltor either. Or he doesn't want to be around either. He's part of the old regime. And this is why Frank Lampard is coming. At least we have 100 out of 100 aura now. And in my opinion, don't focus on these links. Journalists are moving like Macaspor. Wouldn't be surprised if we are linked to Scott Parker. My days. That's for the fans. The board has their process. Boehly has said Mount won't play. It's clear to me that assistants we're hiring will be in charge of tactics. We just signed an assistant who helped with Carlo. Nagelsmann to Madrid, Enrique to Spurs, and will be left scrambling for leftovers like Thomas Frank and Nuno Espirito Santos. I hope not. And this is what I worry. Why I got really annoyed yesterday was I think people underestimate the level of work that needs to be done in pre-season. We have to get rid of a lot of players, number one. As soon as the season ends, we better have a proper plan of shipping some of these players out. And we have to make quite a decent money out of it as well, because financially we're in trouble. And then we have to bring in a manager that gets the ground running in the preseason. We cannot have another turbulent pre-season like the last one. This pre-season for the next season has to be solid so that we cannot have another season of where we're 10th, 11th. So this, whoever the new manager will be, they've got to hit the ground running immediately. They'll have all of these, Lukaku is another situation that we need to deal with. Ethan Ampadu, Levi Colwell, all of these players will come back, and there's a lot of work, a lot of work on top of things that we need to address. Defensive midfielder, goalkeeper, striker maybe. I don't want more excuse for next season. I really don't want next season to be a write-off as well. Like, this season is a write-off. Yeah? Can we agree? This season is a write-off now. We're hoping that it's not. But essentially it is. That's what I was worried. I was more thinking if we get a full-time manager in now, they assess the situation, they're already in the job. There's at least a couple of months left before the end of the season. They understand what needs to be done. So as soon as the season is over, they can say this plan needs to go. These players are coming back from loan. They need to move elsewhere, or they need to be part of the team. Okay, now let's go to preseason. Let's have a good preseason, and let's have a fantastic start to next season. It cannot be a write-off. Other teams, they're going to be buzzing. They're going to be moving on. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Liverpool got a lot of cosmetic surgery to do as well, but at least they have got a manager, like a stable manager over there. So they'll just get the personnel in. They'll get rid of whoever they want to get rid of. They've already made decision who they want to get rid of anyway. And they'll hit the ground running as well. I'll be very surprised if Liverpool has the same season as they did this season, next season as well. Very, very surprised. Newcastle will get better and better. Like, they've had a superb season. They'll get even better. Man United will get better. I don't want us to be at the back of the group, catching up, playing catch up. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was worried about. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat. The Lampard experiment will be over as soon as Madrid slap us. People want to fake happiness. It will be a full-blown civil war if we get knocked out. Look, I think it all comes down to expectation. I'm not really expecting much now. I'm hoping it's a positive result, but I'm not really expecting much. So if we do get slapped up, I mean, what did we expect? Do you know what I mean? Frank Lampard coming up against Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid. Like, I think we should all have some sort of, genuine sort of feeling, honest feeling about this, that Frank has a lot to learn in management. Like, I think it'll be a great surprise. I hope we are all proven wrong. It'll be a great surprise if we can go past Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid. But I think the reality is that we probably won't. This is why I felt, look, it's 10 games. We could have given it to a new manager to assess everything, then know who they need and don't need during the preseason. Absolutely. President Jafar, good to see you, my man. I wanted the new manager in as well. I'm actually sold on Enrique over Nagelsmann now, but that's not happening. Frank taking over until we sort out this situation. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash up the like button. Only 12 more likes left until we get 100. I'm going to take just a couple of more comments and we'll wrap things up. If a third manager fails, the only sacking that should occur if that of Todd, honestly, the management has been erratic. Maybe this is what they deserve for dissing Roman in the media. No, you're right. It's been mad. This is the third manager of the season. Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter. If you want to include Bruno Saltor, it's the fourth with Frank Lampard. Like, this is unprecedented. Like, these owners said that they don't want to do stuff like the previous regime. Well, you're doing even worse than the previous regime. The previous regime was not this ruthless. Miz, what are your thoughts on Chelsea considering Conte because there were contacts made? This is a manager. I do not understand base. I don't buy any of that. I think this Conte stuff is BS, to be honest. Until I actually see Fabrizio or David Einstein talking about it, I don't want to pay too much attention. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. I'll see you guys soon, later tonight, to bring you guys the latest in Chelsea news, whatever happens for the remainder of the day. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.